We are working with volume today. Let me focus mine a little bit. It's going to go out of focus. Okay, there we go. We are in our Learn books and we are on page 3. We've worked a little bit with volume in our Big Fours, so you're a little bit familiar with it. So we're going to jump right on in and let's talk a little bit about volume. And we know volume has a formula. Remember, volume equals length times width times height. Now, let me show you a couple of little charts that I have real quick. This is the word volume. We have a big cube. It says volume is the amount of space that a solid three-dimensional figure takes up. We're working with three-dimensional figures, 3D. That means we're going to have 3 dimensions. And those 3 dimensions are the length. I always like to go across the front, the width at the side, and the height is from the bottom to the top. We multiply these, length times width times height. And like we just said, there is a formula. And when you're trying to find volume, it can be determined by multiplying the length times the width times the height. All right, let's go ahead and let's get started in this one. If we look at A, if we're determining the volume, this is very easy. We don't really need a formula. This is one that is so simple, I can just look at it and say, hey, there's only 1 there. So the volume is 1. And since these were centimeter cubes, we do 1 centimeter cubed. 1 centimeter cubed. And I'll put the volume down here. Remember, you have to put the 3 there. It means cubed because it's 3-dimensional. Okay, coming down to B. That's one we can look at and just count them. We don't really have to do the formula. It's so easy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is 5 centimeters cubed. And I'll put it right here. Okay. Going down to C, once again, I can count these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 centimeters cubed. And I need to put it here also, I guess. Okay. All right, coming over to D. D, we notice a gap right here. We don't have a block there. But if I count them, I know I have 4 on this side, 4 on this side. Remember, they've got to be standing on something. So there's 4 here, there's 8. And 1 more right here would be 9. 9 centimeters cubed. Okay, look at E. There's how many on top? There's 6 on top, and you know those are sitting on top of another layer. So there's 6 in this layer, 6 in this layer, so that would be 12 in all. So 12 centimeters cubed. And then F. I can't see all the ones on the bottom, but I can count all of the ones on the top. And however many on the top, that's how many I would find on the base. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 on top. So there must be 10 on the bottom. And we know 10 plus 10 would be 20 centimeters cubed. Now it's wanting us to explain these. So A, the only explanation I would say is it's only 1 cube. Look at B, 5 centimeters cubed. I could say there's 3 on the bottom, 3 cubes on the bottom, 2 cubes on the top. 3 cubes on bottom and 2 cubes on top. Okay, C. C is pretty simple. It's basically 3 layers with 3 cubes each. 3 layers with 3 cubes each. Okay, D, look on the bottom layer. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the bottom. So I could say 5 cubes on bottom and 1, 2, 3, 4 cubes on top. Okay, E, 12 cubic centimeters. I could say there are 2 layers with 6 cubes each. 6 here, 6 here. 2 layers with 6 cubes each. And then the last one, and I'm sorry if I'm going a little fast, you'll probably need to pause it. I let time get away with me this morning, so I'm having to rush through it. This has also 2 layers with 10 cubes each. So there's a layer with 10 and there was a layer with 10. Okay, I am not going to do the back on page 4, but I do want you now to turn some more pages in your Learn book and go to page 31. Go to page 31. Here we're actually looking at the dimensions more instead of just counting, because sometimes when you've got hidden layers, sometimes counting can be tricky. So let's look just a minute. Remember the formula: volume equals length times width times height. Sometimes we can say volume equals base times height. Base means they've already figured something for you. The length times the width, this number will equal the base. So the base is, if I say length times width, so right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times 2, that means there's 10 on this base. So when we see base times height, that means they've already taken the length times width and made one number instead of doing 2 numbers. We'll see this more and more, but that's just a little FYI for you today. All right, let's look at A. My length. I always like to let this be my length. And we know that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we need to see, these are centimeter cubes. Okay, so it's 5 centimeters that way. The width, I always use this. So if this is my length, is 5, I'll put 5 here. This is my width up the side, that's 2, I'll put that here. And then my height is from bottom to top, and that's 2. So this was 2, and that's 2. And I know that when I'm doing the formula, volume equals length times width times height. Length is 5 times 2 times 2. Okay? And it doesn't matter what order you go in. You just grab 2. I'll grab those. That's 10 times 2, and that equals 20. So the volume is 20 cubic centimeters. Also, if I did the base, I could say, well, 5 times 2, that would be 10. So my base would already be 10. See, we figured the base right here. And then go 10 times 2. So it's the same. You get the same thing. I just don't want you to get confused if you ever see base times height. You can still use length times width times height to find the formula, or to find the volume, excuse me. All right, let's go to B. My length is 3. My width is up down the side. That's 2. My height is from bottom to top. That's 4. So I would say volume equals length times width times height. And fill in my numbers. That's 3 times 2 times 4. Grab this. That's 6 times 4. And I know that is 24. So when I put that there, it's 24 cubic centimeters. Okay, let's go to C. I'll go ahead and write my formula. Length times width times height. The more I write it, the more it'll be ingrained in my head. All right, the length across the front, that's 4. The width at the side, that's 2, or down the side, not up. I don't want anybody to get height mixed up. And height is from bottom to top. That's 4. This was 2. So 4 times 2 times 4. So 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 4 is 32. So this is 32 cubic centimeters. That means there are 32 cubes in all right here. This means there are 24 cubes in all. And this means there are 20 cubes in all. Okay, last one right here on D. My length is 4. My width is 3. My height is 3. So volume equals length times width times height. So my length is 4. My width is 3. And my height is 3. And altogether, that's 12 times 3. That's 36. So I know there are 36 cubic centimeters in this rectangular prism. There are 36 cubes in all. Okay, the last part we're going to do says write a multiplication sentence that you could use to calculate the volume for each rectangular prism in problem 1. Include the units. So on A, basically they're wanting me to write the formula, but see up here, I didn't include the units, and the unit we're using is centimeters. So I would say 5 centimeters times 2 centimeters times 2 centimeters. That's how that would work. So let's go do A. 5 centimeters times 2 centimeters times 2 centimeters equals 20 cubic centimeters. Have to write small, don't I? So we're basically rewriting what we wrote up here, but it's okay. Go to B. 3 centimeters times 2 centimeters times 4. Oh, my lid. I'm getting in a hurry. Centimeters equals 24 cubic centimeters. Make sure you put this little 3. That makes a big difference. If it's not there, it could be a wrong answer. All right, on C, we've got 4 centimeters times 2 centimeters times 4 centimeters equals 32 cubic centimeters. And then the last one, I'll write these, a multiplication sentence with these. 4 centimeters times 3 centimeters times 3 centimeters equals, if you're writing a multiplication sentence, you need that equals there. You have to have that in your sentence. Equals 36 cubic centimeters. Okay, I hope this has given you a little bit of insight into volume. Remember the formula, volume equals length times width times height, but sometimes we'll see it base times height. And if you ever see base times height, just know that they took the length times the width and they went ahead and made one number out of it instead of 2. Okay, let me know if you have any questions. Thanks for watching.